Gainward GeForce RTX 3080T Phantom GS Opinion. NVIDIA announced the GeForce RTX 3080T at Computex this year, in June. The GeForce RTX 3080T replaces the RTX 3080 as NVIDIA's new flagship gaming product. The RTX 3090 is still positioned higher, but that SKU is more of a Titan-like Halo model, with its massive 24GB RAM favoring certain professional use cases when paired with studio drivers. Based on the same 8nm GA102 silicon as the RTX 3080, the new RTX 3080T has 12GB of memory, maxing out the 384-bit GDDR6X memory interface of the chip while packing more CUDA cores and other components, 10,240 versus 8,796, 320 TMUs, mini tensor cores, 80 RT cores, and 112 ROPs. The announcement of the RTX 3080T and its sibling, the RTX 3070T, may have been triggered by AMD's unexpected return to the high-end gaming graphics segment with its big Navi Radeon RX 6000 series graphics cards, particularly the RX 6900 XT and RX 6800. The GeForce Ampere graphics architecture debuts the second generation of NVIDIA RTX, bringing real-time ray tracing to gamers. It combines 3 RD generation tensor cores that accelerate a deep learning neural net's DLSS leverages, second generation RT cores that introduce more hardware-accelerated ray tracing effects, and the new Ampere CUDA core that significantly increases performance over the previous generation Turing. The Phantom GS Golden Sample is Gainward's top model for the RTX 3080T. It comes with adjustable RGB lighting and the ability to synchronize your motherboard's effects to the graphics cards. With 3 8-pin power inputs, the card is ready for the toughest challenges. The cooling solution is a large triple-slot, triple-fan design. In terms of clock speeds, the Phantom GS offers a small factory overclock to 1725 MHz. Pricing isn't available from Gainward, but given current market conditions, we're expecting a price of around $1,800. Just 3 months ago, NVIDIA released the GeForce RTX 3080T, which is designed to one-up the RTX 3080 to fight AMD's highly successful Radeon RX 6800 XT and RX 6900 XT. Another reason for the new model is that NVIDIA wants to switch their whole lineup to LHR, low hash rate, GPUs, which operate at reduced speed for GPU mining to make them unattractive to miners, so that gamers can buy them more easily. Compared to the RTX 3080, the RTX 3080T comes with 17% more cores, 8,704 versus 10,240. At the same time, NVIDIA has increased the memory bus width to 384-bit, matching the RTX 3090. RAM has also received a bump, from 10GB to 12GB, a good PR move of little effect on real-life gaming. Gainward's RTX 3080T Phantom GS is a factory overclocked card that ticks at 1725 MHz, which is a 60 MHz increase, or 3.6% over the NVIDIA Founders Edition baseline clocks. Averaged over our 22-game-strong test suite at 4K resolution, the Gainward RTX 3080T Phantom GS ends up 2% faster than the RTX 3080T Founders Edition, comparable to other medium custom designs. The top models from Asus, MSI, and EVGA achieve 7%, 5%, and 4% more than the Founders Edition. So all these cards are essentially relatively close in their performance characteristics. An important win for the RTX 3080T Phantom GS is that it beats the AMD RX 6900 XT by 7% and matches the much more expensive RTX 3090. The RTX 3080 is 11% slower. AMD's Radeon RX 6800 XT is 13% behind. Against last generation's RTX 2080T flagship, The performance uplift is 50%. With those performance numbers, RTX 3080 is the perfect choice for 4K gaming at 60 FPS and above. It's probably the only resolution you should consider for this beast because we've seen some CPU limited titles at even 1440p. For 1080p, it's definitely overkill. On the other hand, if you have a strong CPU and 1440p high refresh rate monitor, the 3080 could be an option. The added performance of the RTX 3080 will also give you more headroom in case future game titles significantly increase their hardware requirements, which seems unlikely considering the new consoles are out and their hardware specifications will define what's possible for the next few years. There's no big surprises with ray tracing performance. The RTX 3080 is basically 10% faster than the RTX 3080 and nearly as fast as the RTX 3090. The underlying reason is that there has been no change in the GPU chip or GPU architecture. Still, compared to AMD Radeon Rednet 2, NVIDIA's ray tracing performance is better. The new game consoles use AMD graphics tech, though it looks to me like recent game releases intentionally go weak on the amount of ray tracing for the IHA's ray tracing badge while still achieving decent performance on the AMD-powered consoles. For example, Resident Evil Village has support for ray tracing, but uses only very limited RT effects, which cushions the performance penalty incurred by Radeon cards, and the same is happening on F1 2021, only recent patches have improved the RT quality. It'll be interesting to see whether this trend continues in the coming months or the only option for serious ray tracing will continue to be NVIDIA GeForce. Gainward's thermal solution is very decent. It's a triple slot, triple fan design that uses 6 heat pipes to achieve good temperatures of 78 degrees Celsius under load, which is comparable to most other RTX 3080 cards. Memory temperatures are very good, too. Noise levels are higher, though. With 42 dB, the fan is definitely audible under full load, but isn't annoyingly loud. Other RTX 3080 cards don't do much better here. AMD's offerings, on the other hand, especially the RX 6800 XT and RX 6900 XT reference designs, are whisper quiet even when fully loaded. Gainward offers a dual BIOS feature on their card. The second quiet BIOS runs a more relaxed fan curve, which allows the card to go 3 degrees Celsius higher in temperature. In return, you get improved noise levels that are now down to 39 dB, which matches the NVIDIA RTX 3080 Founders Edition almost exactly. In a direct comparison with the heatsinks on other air-cooled RTX 3080 models, the Phantom GS achieves a good third place, better than the NVIDIA FE, Palette Gaming Pro, and Zotac AMP Holo, but slightly behind the MSI Supreme X and EVGA FTW3. Just like on all other Ampere cards, fan stop is a mandatory capability. In idle, during desktop work, internet browsing, and light gaming, the Gainward RTX 3080 will turn off its fans completely for the perfect noise-free experience. I feel what's holding the card back in terms of thermals and noise is that Gainward has bumped up GPU voltage a bit, which of course helps with stability at the factory AUC, but also costs efficiency. They also increased the card's power limit to 400 W, same as the best RTX 3080 models. This allows the card to boost higher for longer, but also operates it with lower efficiency. Overall, with a typical gaming power draw of 386 W, the Phantom GS uses 10% more power than the reference card sitting at 354 West, which of course means the cooler has to work harder to get rid of the excess heat. Overall energy efficiency of the Gainward RTX 3080 is not very high compared to other Ampere cards, even lower than some Turing generation cards. For overclockers, it's nice to see that Gainward has given us a good manual adjustment power range of up to 440 W, which is definitely comparable to the top cards from MSI, Asus, and EVGA. However, I still wonder, why not give us more? The card has 3 8 pins, so it should be able to pull up to 525W in theory. At current marketing conditions, the GeForce RTX 3080 can be found for $1,750, which is a lot of money and way above the MSRP of $1,200. That having been said, you get an amazing graphics card that can handle everything you throw at it at 4K. It's also substantially cheaper than the $2,300 RTX 3090, which really isn't much faster despite 24GB of RAM and slightly more shaders. Noteworthy alternatives besides the RTX 3090 are the AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT, which currently goes for $1,700, so basically as much, with better efficiency but worse RT performance, and then there is the RTX 3080, which is 10% slower and costs $1,400, which is 20% less. Gainward's RTX 3080 Phantom GS is a solid option as long as you can find it for a reasonable price, whatever that means in the current market. Personally, I'd be willing to spend $50 above the current baseline price. Last but not least, possibly the strongest competition for GeForce in the PC gaming market overall comes from game consoles, which can be found for well under $1,000 and will play all the new games, although with slightly worse graphics. That said, the money saved can buy you a 4K TV and a lot of games.